different. So let's get into it. Questions and answers on general notary work. And this is just give you a quick disclaimer before we even get started. This is just for training purposes only. I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice. And since I'm in Indiana, I'm not an attorney licensed to practice law in Indiana. I'm not allowed to draft legal records, give advice on legal matters, including immigration, or charge a fee for those activities. In fact, one of the questions we got this week was, hey, can I do immigration documents? If you're in Indiana, Indiana notaries can. I know some states, I know the National Notary Association has been advertising, become an immigration specialist, but in our state, we can't do that because they consider that as practicing law. I just want to get that out the way because I've had that question come up a couple of times. So we can't practice law in Indiana with the immigration documents. Now, just a little bit about me. I know we have some new people here that's not quite familiar with me. I have been a full-time notary entrepreneur since 2003. I mean, this is what I do for a living. In fact, when I started in 2003, 100% of my business was real estate. I did all real estate, refinance, reverse mortgages, purchases, sellers packages, buyers package, modifications. That's all I did. And then something happened in 2008 that changed that, where the mortgage industry kind of collapsed on itself. So now, just giving you some insight, I do almost 90% of my business is general notary work. And I'm here in Indiana, it's Carmel, Indiana. And I'm a managing partner of Lewis Notary and Training Services. We offer training for notaries that want to get, we're an approved educational vendor with the Indiana Department of Insurance. We provide pre-license courses and continuing education courses, along with some other courses for notaries that want to be full-time. Also, I was a founder of the Indiana Notary Association. In 2010, I was named National Notary of the Year. Also, in that same year, Honorary Secretary of State, because I worked with the legislation. When I started in 2003, we had our fees were at $2 per notarization. And if you're in another state and you say, hey, our fees at $2 per notarization. Now our fees in Indiana is $10 per notarization on traditional notarization and $25 per notarization on remote online notarization. If you're in a state if you're here and you're in a state that still doing $2 per notarization and very restrictive laws, I would highly recommend doing a grassroots campaign to get those laws up, to get what they call antiquated laws up. You would need to do a grassroots campaign and educate your legislators on exactly what you do, because a lot of those laws have been on the books since the 40s or the 50s, and they're not up to date. So it's good for you if you're interested in doing that. I'm also an industry blogger, author, and a keynote speaker. If anybody needs a keynote speaker for their notary events. I'm a Navy veteran, and just on a personal note, I'm a husband, father, grandfather, and dog lover. I have a couple of dogs that I really care about. Okay, let's get into this agenda, what we're going to be talking about this night. Jenna's going to talk about, I just got a couple of bullet points that we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to open it up for questions. I have someone coming in that just has another opportunity for notaries, and she's looking for notaries to help her on this opportunity. I believe it's with the kind of field inspections, but not quite that. But she's going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about, especially if you're trying to do general notary work, what the laws are in your state. We have to start there because I talked to so many notaries around the country, including my home state, Indiana here, that want to start general notary work and have no idea of what the parameters are, the laws are in the state. So we're going to start there. What is general notary work? Because 90% of the notaries that come into the business, they discuss with me that they're starting off on real estate assignments, and that's their business is 100% real estate. and that could be difficult to maintain a living if you're doing just real estate. So we're going to talk about what general notary work is. What do I need to for a successful general notary work business? What items you need to be successful, in my opinion, and how to build a general notary work business. And then we're going to have someone come in and talk about their opportunity with their company that they're starting, that they need notaries to help them with what they're doing with the she can explain it a little bit better than I can. And then we'll open it up to questions. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute and then ask your questions. So let's start with this. What are the laws in your state? And it's important for people to know what the laws are in your state, because they will give you the parameters that you need. If you're in any state, usually the Secretary of State creates a handbook for you to operate your notary business. So if you're in Indiana, definitely you want to get to the Secretary of State's website and download the handbook. If you're taking any of my classes, you get a handbook in the class. But you definitely want to get the most up-to-date notary handbook, because it gives you the parameters that you need in order to operate your business. Some people think, well, if I get the handbook, it's going to be restrictive to what I have to do, what I want to do as a notary. But the handbook is actually a freeing mechanism. For example, if you're a notary that says, hey, we're going to talk about apostille, doing apostille work. And in Indiana, in classes that I've had, notaries have said that, hey, I want to do apostille work. I'm going to go out and advertise myself as an apostille agent. And they go to like Spanish-speaking locations, work locations, and claim that they're a notary publico. But in that language, that means that you're an attorney. So you can't, in Indiana, that's a restrictive type of thing. That's one of the examples that I want to use to make sure everybody knows what the laws, what the guidelines are in your state to keep you out of trouble. So first thing you have to do to run a successful notary business is first get your notary manual, usually created by the Secretary of State. And then I want to recommend that you use the Notary Code of Professional Responsibility, because there's certain things that might seem right, but there's a certain notary code of professional responsibility that the National Notary Association has put together with title companies, with other notaries. I helped author that document, and you can get that off the National Notary Association's website, which will help you stay out of trouble. And also, when you're doing this and you want to set up the right foundation, I highly recommend the National Notary Association hotline, especially if you're just getting started and you need help right away. They have a hotline available where you can call and get information as quickly as possible. Because sometimes when you're on your feet and you have a client in front of you and you have a question, you need to talk to someone right away. The National Notary Association hotline is the way you want to go. Now, what is general notary work? And I put this little presentation here where you're putting on different hats, because general notary work works totally different a lot of the times than being a loan signing agent. And here's some areas that you can get general notary work in. Attorney services, for example. If you never work with attorneys, this is a great source of income to get general notary work. Family law attorneys, divorce, estate attorneys, elderly law attorneys, immigration specialists, immigration attorneys that specialize in immigration for notaries, for people in the community. Getting general notary work from attorneys. I do a lot of work for attorneys where I do a lot of work for attorneys that find income for people and need them to sign their agreements to do the work for them. And you can get a lot of general notary work that way. Medical facilities, another great source of getting general notary work. I do a lot of hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, rehab centers. I'm always, if you're in the Indianapolis area, I'm always in like the St. Vincent's area, the community hospital area, and you can get that type of work by going in with some of your materials, like your business card, or I always give pens to um, the receptionist if you've seen a nursing home, rehab center, or a social worker, the social workers that work on the floors, because that's who refers their patients to notaries. So I always work with medical facilities, attorneys, medical facilities, two of my top referral clients. Banks are another great way to get general notary work. What I mean by that is a lot of banks, if you go into a bank and you're not their customer, or even if you're their customer and you have some documents that they don't create, or it's some documents that was created by another entity, a lot of banks are not feeling comfortable notarizing those documents. So if you go into your bank or credit union, I get a lot of referrals from my credit union. Just let them know what you're doing. If you have your notary account with them, they would know. But I always go to the bank manager, the branch manager, let them know what I'm doing. Always go in and make my deposits directly in there. Always make sure I'm um, speaking to them and talking to them and saying, "Oh, hi, how you doing? How's everything going?" And asking them if there's anything. I usually ask at least once a quarter, is there any special programs they have for small business owners? And just making that connection with your bank manager. And with that connection, they always, if somebody comes in there with a form that their notaries can't notarize, the same with the UPS. They always refer those customers right to me. So that's another great resource. Accountants and financial planners are another great resource. If you have an accountant or financial planner, I would definitely let them know exactly what you're doing and ask them for a referral. And usually, when you ask for a referral, they of course to say, "Hey, can you refer people to them?" So it's a reciprocal type of relationship you have. And if you see what's what's happening, a little pattern here, getting referral partners for general notary work, that's the pattern. Always want to get referral partners. You can get that on LinkedIn, Alignable. The people I'm talking about, attorneys, medical facilities, banks, accountants, financial planners, you can find those people on LinkedIn, on Alignable, and say, "Hey, this is what I do. How can we help each other?" And I don't do the next one is correction facilities. I don't do a whole lot of that. I do know a lot of notaries that do correctional facilities. They're their go-to notary for either county correctional facilities or a prison. If you live near a prison, they're always needing notaries to go in there, and there's a little process that you have to go through. But I know a lot of notaries that make a good living doing that. Also, vehicle transfers, or a lot of people are buying cars online, for example. They do Carvana, Vroom, and a lot of those, some of the places that you can go to get on those platforms. Because when people buy cars online, what happens is, like, let's say, for example, if they wanted to buy a BMW from California or New York, and you live and the person lives here in Indiana. They go online, they find a car they want, they purchase it from the dealership. The dealership goes to a platform like, for example, I use Maverick Signings. That's a platform that hires notaries to complete the process, complete the paperwork with the buyer. And there's another one that's Link Signings. That's Link Signings. They also have a very similar process whereas you can, they will work with dealerships around the country, send you the paperwork as in that process, send you the paperwork, and then you, the notary, you make the connection with the buyer and set up the appointment. It's a little different than real estate. Real estate will set up the appointment and then want you to go do the appointment at that set time. With car dealerships, you set the appointment with once you get the documents. The documents are usually either FedEx to you or sent to you by UPS. And that was two places that I've done a lot of business with. In fact, where I'm at, a lot of people in this area loves to buy cars for some reason. And I do about 8 to 10 car deals per week. So that's Maverick signings and Link signings that are the platforms that do the car transfers. Adoption services, and when I say adoption services, if you are working with a family law attorney or a family law attorney or divorce attorney, or even, I would say, even elderly law attorney, for adoption services, those I get that paperwork in pretty frequently. I say at least once or twice a month, where you can help notarize those documents, and you can get those referrals from like a family law attorney or just a general law practitioner. Legal living trust presentations. This is something that I'm seeing a lot on the rise, coming on the rise. Especially if you're working with a state attorney, meeting people, this is where they are sending you out to get wills, living wills, healthcare power of attorneys, financial power of attorneys, trust documents notarized. And what I'm seeing around the country is that notaries, in fact, we just had a gentleman that was at the last meetup we had here in our office. That's all he does. He does trust documents, estate documents. He partners with law firms around the Indianapolis area, and that's all he does. And with that, it's a little different because people are doing more and more of these wills, living wills, healthcare power of attorneys, financial power of attorneys. And with wills in Indiana, if you're in Indiana, the caveat there is you don't notarize the will. You will have the wills need 2 witnesses to make it valid. And if you can bring witnesses, and then you can charge for the witnesses. So that is becoming more and more lucrative, doing living trust documents. The way I've heard people get these, they do a search for all the attorneys in their area, all the family and estate law attorneys in the area. They send out a contact. Now they send out contact information, give them their contact information, and let them know that they are available to do those type of signings. And with that, it's a little different than real estate, whereas you make the appointment with the person, and the attorneys get you the documents. You make the appointment with the person and get them all signed, and you have to get it back to the law office. Makes sense. There's a couple other things you can do. I-9s, where people work remotely from their corporate office, and they need those I-9 forms completed. This is a form that doesn't get notarized, but you can charge, pretty much whatever you want on that. Usually the corporation pays for that. The person might pay for it originally, but they get reimbursed by the corporation. Field inspections. Field inspections have been around for years now, whereas companies or get in contact with the notary to do an inspection on all kinds of things, from taking pictures of houses, roofs, motorcycles, cars, all kinds of things. I used to do a lot of field inspections where you just drive up to a house, take the picture in the front, drive to the back, take a picture in the back, and that's all they need. And these are a lot of things that notaries supplement their incomes with: field inspections. I know notaries, they do 5 or 6 a day on field inspections. Apostille work. Apostille work is where you are doing you're notarizing documents for people who have interest in another country. In Indiana, there's only one place to take the documents after you notarize it, and that's to the Secretary of State's office down on West Washington Street. But in some states, they have, like in Illinois, they have two places to take it. This has been very lucrative for people who understands how to do that work. I wouldn't recommend you do it without taking some type of formal training on it, because there's certain wording that has to be in the documents, in the notarial documents, and there's certain things that the Secretary of State's office looks for in these documents. So, but that can be very lucrative. Fingerprinting, I don't do a lot of, well, have done some fingerprinting the old-fashioned traditional way, but now live scan is becoming more and more prevalent. So that might be something that you can do as a notary, do live scans, or I do a lot of just the traditional fingerprinting um, service, and charge a fee for that. Wedding officiant, like I said, I have a wedding officiant workshop happening on Monday to February 19th. If you never done a wedding or never officiated a wedding, this is a really easy peasy way to make money as a notary. Becoming a wedding officiant, officiating weddings. A lot of people do it now. There was another lady at our meetup. She said she loves wedding officiating, and she does it as much as she can. And also being a carrier service. With the carrier service, like I said, you put on different hats. Carrier service is where I think most notaries do have some form of carrier service, whereas they're printing out documents and they're taking documents from one location to another. But notaries normally don't charge for that. And if you think about your business, this is a part of your business that I think a lot of notaries are losing money. If you're printing out documents, carrying it to someone just to get signed, or if you're, let's say, for instance, you're at one of the nursing homes, hospitals, or rehabilitation centers or assisted living, and you get to a place, you notarize the document, you only charging them for the notary fee, but then the person asks you, well, can you take this to another location? Can you mail this for me? Can you do this? That's another totally separate fee. And I think notaries miss that opportunity with carrier service, because, and I want to stress the importance of this. I have seen notaries take documents in a FedEx envelope, not charge them to carry it to FedEx, and on the way they stop at a McDonald's or Burger King, get out, go in, somebody sees the FedEx envelope on their seat, break in, take that FedEx envelope thinking there's something of value in there, and then the notary, is left with damages because the person was giving the notary the responsibility of protecting that document, and your E&O insurance doesn't pay for that. Just a side note, which some notaries have found that to be very expensive experience. Also, proctoring. I've done some proctoring and you can put yourself out there for educational vendors, like some colleges allow you to do some proctoring. I've done that for IU. I haven't done it for Purdue, but some places allow you to be a proctor and just say, hey, I witnessed this person taking a test. I've done that. That's another great opportunity for you to do. In order for you to get a lot of these opportunities, I know you're saying, hey, Daniel, how would I get these opportunities? You can definitely, if you're got a profile on sites like 123 Notary, Notary Rotary, Notary Cafe, find a notary. You can put in there that, hey, I had some training on this. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do I-9s. I'm willing to do field inspections. I'm willing to do estate planning documents. So there's a couple of things that you can do to to put your name out there. What I need to do to be successful with a general notary work, because what you want to do is, like this guy, crank out the dollars to be in your general notary work. Here's some of the things you need. You definitely need a smartphone for many reasons. In fact, next Thursday night, a workshop is going to be a free workshop. Is going to be on what apps you need for your phone, because there's a couple of things you're going to need on your smartphone in order to be successful. You need a laser printer, definitely, a computer, I would say a laptop, because you're going to be on the go all the time. Scanners, we definitely need a scanner, not necessarily a police scanner, but a scanner that scans documents that you can send back and print out. Let's say, for example, and I have a scanner that I can use. I don't get paid to tell you about this scanner, but I use a scanner called Tiny Doc. It used to be Tiny Scanner, but they call it Tiny Doc on my phone. And the reason why I recommend this, and then also I have a Tiny Fax scanner on my phone. The reason why I recommend that, because like I said, I'm in a lot of hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, rehabilitation centers. And when I go in there, they usually is for a power of attorney that they want to give to someone, a healthcare power of attorney, to someone to help them pay their whatever outstanding debts they have while they're in the hospital. And with that, I can scan their documents while I'm there in the hospital room, email it, because a lot of times they say, well, I need to give this to the financial institution, or I need to give this to my brother that's living in New York, or my cousin that lives in California. I can scan those documents right there in the hospital room, send those, and then email those from my smartphone to those individuals, which gives me elevated service than just someone coming in and notarizing those documents. And you can charge for that service. So I want to just recommend Tiny Scanner, or Tiny, see what's the name of that? Tiny Doc, which is a scanner you can have on your phone. But there's other scanners that you can have on your phone that pays dividends on with your general notary service. Also, if you're going to have a general notary service, you should definitely have a way that you can collect payments, whether either cash, of course, cash, check, or Venmo. Now, I don't recommend, when I started doing my general notary work, I used to get paid cash all the time. In these days and times, I just don't recommend that. I recommend, hey, give me a check, give me a credit card, have a way that you can get take credit card payments, or do it Venmo or Cash App, or however you want to do it. I recommend that. I think that's a lot cleaner, especially you're out in public and you're meeting people you don't really know. It's just a lot cleaner to do. I use myself PayPal. PayPal has an app now that you can just scan a credit card. That app is Zeta, that you can just scan it. But Square, I've heard all kinds. Just check out their terms and how much they charge to make sure you're not undercharging yourself and you losing money on fees that if you're taking credit card payments, checks, and Venmo. Platforms that will advertise you to the public. Use platforms that will advertise you to the public, like I use Find a Notary, 123 Notary, Notary Rotary, Notary Cafe. I've used all those platforms myself in doing that. And also, when I mention platforms, I mean get referral partners like attorneys, accountants, your bank manager. If you're in a rural area, uh, look up notaries near me and see what comes up. Usually it's a UPS store that comes up. Go and use them as a platform to use you. Say, hey, if your notary's not in, here's my information. Give me a call. if you have someone that needs a notary. And believe it or not, they call you when they have somebody that needs a notary, because a lot of documents I know here in Indiana, they can't notarize, like real estate documents, but they would call you, and usually you just go in there and do the notarization in their office. And they like that because usually I just give them a Starbucks card or something like that, or send business their way. And it's a reciprocal thing. Make a business plan for yourself. Every October, I set out my calendar for the following year and set up a business plan. Like this is a leap year this year. We just had Valentine's Day. A lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people that says, hey, it's leap year. I want to do something special. I want to renew my vows, or I want to get married on the 29th of February. Some people are like that. I have a neighbor that said, hey, I'm going to renew my vows on the 29th. I need a wedding officiant. And then at the beginning of the year, a lot of people do estate planning. At the end of the year, a lot of people do estate planning. So plan out your business plan. Maybe during the spring, there's a lot of people that buy and sell houses in the spring. I've got property right now that I'm selling that's going to be sold early spring. Plan to do a lot of real estate deals then. A lot of people buy cars in the spring. So plan out your social media, what you're going to be focused on each quarter, and write up a business plan. That really helps. So many people I've talked to that says, hey, you know, when things are really slow, and I said, okay, let me see your business plan. And they say, oh, well, I don't have a business plan. I'm just waiting for somebody to call me. Always have a plan of action that you're doing, you're working through to make your business successful. Now, how to build a general notary work business where you want to lay the foundation. And as we said, I'm just going to put these little 3 keys. I don't want to overwhelm you with information. Develop an amazing business plan. I mean, write out your business plan each for the entire year, what you're going to be doing on social media, how you're going to advertise your plan, how many referral partners are you building, how many people are you talking to, are you doing any type of notary meetups. Notary meetups are an excellent way to build your business. In fact, when I started my business back in 2003, I went to an event with notaries, and there was a National Notary Association conference, and I didn't have any business. I had little to no money to start. I heard it was going to be a great business to be in, like many of you. I went to that conference. I had very little clients. I met this lady named Quincy Perry there. She had a very robust business. She was getting calls every day, about several calls every day. And I met her, I talked to her, and I said, hey, if you ever have any business that you can't handle or you're busy, can you refer them to me? And she said, yes. And she said, can I do the same? And I said, yeah, but you know, I really didn't have any business. But she was doing that, and my business just took off. It was a free contact. We collaborated on a lot of things, and she really helped my business take off. And that collaboration didn't cost me anything. Just sitting down, having a cup of coffee with Quincy, and then our business took off. But getting back to what I'm saying, of having an amazing business plan, get referral partners. If you're going to be a notary, a successful notary, you have to have referral partners, people referring business to you. You have to, and it could be people you already know, your insurance agent. My insurance agent referred business to me, my bank manager, attorneys. Be Develop a plan of action to get referral partners, to get social media, having your profiles on those platforms, putting down every single thing you do. In fact, after this call, you should look at any platform you're using on social media and making sure it has what you cover, whether it's I-9s, hospitals, estate planning documents, anything that you cover, and make that part of your business plan. Next thing, understanding your location is key. Some people are in a a metro area where they're right downtown area. I have a good friend, Julie Lawrence, who's in downtown Philadelphia. She can get a lot of referrals because where her office is, she can get a lot of her. She's right upstairs from the sheriff's office. They're always sending her um, business from there. Is right downtown Philadelphia, so people within walking distance. She makes sure she gets the word out that uh, she is handling all kinds of stuff. A lot of apostille work. In fact, we were on a call a couple of weeks ago, and she was said, "I just got a 40 apostille assignments." Um, because of her area. Now, if you're in a rural area, you have to do things a little differently. In a rural area, you may want to check out, go online and say, who's the notaries near me? Whatever comes up first, because that's how people find notaries in rural areas. Go online, put in your search bar, notaries near me. Usually it's the UPS store, and then contact the UPS store. Make the UPS store your referral partner. That's what you want to do. Make them your referral partner. Law firms close to you. Not only that, churches. Talk to churches, hospitals, UPS stores, and FedEx, banks, and credit unions. If you're in a rural area, just make your location work for you. Also, hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living in your area. What's the biggest business there? Make sure you talk to the human resources person in the biggest businesses around you and see and make them your referral partners. Become an expert on the services you offer. Make sure no matter what you do as a general notary, make sure like I-9s, make sure you read up and you take a course, read up. There's a lot of online courses for everything I mentioned that you become the expert in your field. A lot of times people say, I'm going to be a general notary work. I'm going to do general notary work. Have no idea, like let me give you an example, apostille work. Very precise wording on the apostille work, and you need to know exactly how that whole process works. And I would highly recommend taking a class, even a wedding officiant. We, in our class, we go over the laws, we go over the ceremonies. It's always good to take a class or get some type of book or manual to help you with that process, because you want to be the expert in your field on any type of assignment you do for general notary work, if that makes sense. Let me open it up. Is there any questions anyone has? And you can unmute yourself.
Daniel, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay. So I've been like, yeah, this is Patty. Hi. So I have a couple of questions for you. So, you know, the notary handbook that you do hand out at the classes that you do. Do you know when was the last time that that was updated by the state, so that I know if I've got the one that's like most current?
They usually update it in the spring. If they update it, usually the last one was updated. Last time I looked, which was a couple of days ago, was February 9th, 2022. We have a new, well, you know, a relatively new Secretary of State. And if you're on this call and you have a new Secretary of State comes in, they look for them to update it within the next year or two for them. So they're due to update it. So they update it in the spring. That's usually when they update the new handbook.
Okay. My next question is, and this is kind of back to the beginning. You're having a session on March 2nd. Is it for pre-licensing? Because I'm already licensed for the signing agent. Is that pre-licensing or continuing ed?
Yeah, it's both. Great question. It's both. We have a session for pre-license. The pre-license is a 10-hour class. What happens is they take 3 of the hours online prior to the class, and then when they come to the class, that's they can finish off the 7 hours. And it's also for continuing education, coming into class on the 2nd, March 2nd. They can get their 7 hours of continuing education credits requirements done. So that's for both.
Okay, and so is that for a signing agent credits or is that for notary license?
A great question. In Indiana, starting in 2020, there's 2 tracks that you have to take. There's the track of the notary signing agent, which is a notary that does real estate assignments. So you have to take that, and that track comes from the Indiana Department of Insurance. You
Right.
have to take 10 hours and then 7 hours every 24 months after you get your license. So with that, that's the class that I teach, the pre-license and the 7 hours. Now, starting in 2020, the Indiana Secretary of State's office says you have to take another track, which is only given by the Secretary of State and it's only given online.
Right. Okay.
So with that, it's not enough hours, but you have to, they will send you out, the Indiana Secretary of State's office will send you out an email that says, hey, now you're due, usually 60 days before, they give you 60 days to complete it. And you have to do that every 2 years also. So there's 2 different tracks. If you don't do the Secretary of State's one within that 60 days, what they will do is revoke your notary commission. They've been
I'm pretty sure I've done both of them, but
yeah.
to be honest with you, I just enjoy your class so much that I'm looking at this March 2nd one for the 7 hours of CE, which if I take that, then that would be good for my next renewal, it seems.
Yes. Yeah, it's
You
good for
know,
24 months.
it's for 24 months.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
What other questions? Oh, Lucretia Newbell asked about the class. How much is the class? Are you referring to the pre-license class or the 7 hours of continuing education? Lucretia.
I think I would just like to know for both, like what each one is, because I'm not a notary at this point. I have interest. Yeah, so I'm just trying to gather information to get an understanding of what steps I need to take and what it would look like if I do move forward.
Okay, excellent. Excellent question. My class is a pre-license class. First, let's start from the beginning. When you become a notary, you can do general notary work. Some of the things I was talking about. A lot of times, if you do general notary work, they're going to want organizations, attorneys, hospitals. They're going to probably want you to be background screened. To become a notary, you get background screening through the Indiana State Police. But a lot of companies want you to have a separate background screening. Usually people get it from the National Notary Association. With that. Now, if you want to do real estate assignments, that's where you're doing real estate closings on property in Indiana. You have to have what they call a title producer's license. This is an insurance license. And to get that, you have to take a 10-hour pre-license course. I think that course, it can run, I've seen them run up to $400. When I took mine, it was like $900. But my course is $269, I believe, and we do have promo codes that gives you a 10% discount. And then the continuing education course is like $174, I believe. And that's for the complete 7 hours of continuing education courses.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
I'm in South Carolina, which, as far as doing any work for lawyers, is sort of doesn't work because this is a lawyer state, not a title state like Indiana, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, and several others. Actually, I did settlements for a title company in Maryland for a number of years, and I was also a real estate broker up there. But is there a way to get lawyer business in South Carolina, since we have the fact that it is a lawyer state? The only real estate settlements I get are from some of my contacts up north that I've known, and through National Notary. They have, you sold your house in Indiana, but you lived in South Carolina now. Well, somebody's got to settle it, so they call me. So, can you help me?
What part of South Carolina are you in?
I'm about 3 miles off the ocean in Myrtle Beach.
Okay, I'm originally from Orangeburg, South Carolina, so I know that area pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of I've known a very successful notary down there that all she does is wedding officiant. If you're asking about how to get more real estate closings in South Carolina,
Yeah.
my recommendation is to get real estate. You have closings in South Carolina. I would recommend talking to the title companies directly. Get a list of the title companies around there. Myrtle Beach is a great area, I think.
Oh, it is. No, it is. But like I said, the problem is there are no title companies. Everything is handled by lawyers, straight up. And let's see, we're on our third house. There are other two are investment properties that we've got down here. And every time I go to a settlement, the lawyer, either he has his assistant there who's a notary, or the lawyer himself is a notary. So, I mean, I can't see picking up any business there.
Yeah, because just to give everyone else just some, just to give you an idea of what's happening in South Carolina. I was down in South Carolina in North Myrtle Beach about a year or so ago, and I was sitting in my hotel room, and on comes a commercial where an attorney said, "We do the closings. We do the closings." It was an attorney on television saying, "We do your closings. Contact us because we do the closings." So it's a different mindset than other places because it's a lawyer state. But I would still, Chris, I would still position myself with title companies, with law firms that do it, and position yourself like this, saying, "I do after hours. I go on the weekends. I do closings at times you may not want to do the closings. When it comes down to holidays, I'm your guy to do the closings. When it comes down to when you have your assistant or you, Mr. Attorney, want to take a vacation, I'm your guy. Your business doesn't have to close down." That's just one angle that I would recommend that has worked very effectively for me when I first started off.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you, like I said, I have a notary friend, Sanita. She's out of Greenville, and she does weddings all over the place. If you're wanting to do that as for general notary work, that is fantastic, especially that Myrtle Beach area. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Myrtle Beach, Charleston, even if you, I don't know if you want to even go down to Savannah, that's a great place to do it. North Myrtle Beach, South Myrtle Beach. Hilton Head is another great place to do that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Hopefully I answered your question with that.
Yes, you have, sir.
Any other?
Thank you.
Oh, no problem, Chris. Any other questions about that? In fact, I think we just have a person that just came online, Laura Jones. She actually is starting a signing service, and she has a couple of exciting business opportunities for notaries around the country. Laura, are you on? You want to unmute yourself and let people know what you're doing?
I am on. Hi, everybody. So good to see y'all. Get that light out of there. Yeah, I'm starting the signing service, and I have a couple of things. I have a couple of nationwide title companies that I'm working with, so I'm going to be able to give a lot of work out to notaries nationwide. And also, I have a legal services company that I'm working with, and they do all kinds of different legal services, whether it's general notary work. What's the other thing? They do process serving, if anybody does process serving. And the one arm that I'm really involved in is their evidence collection. They work with pay-per-view events, and if you ever get an email looking for evidence collection, it's probably mine. So if you get an email like that, text me immediately, because I'm the one that's going to be assigning it. And since I'm going to be assigning it, if I can find someone quickly, the quicker I can get it assigned, the better. So if you see those come through, don't worry about responding to the email. Just text me immediately, and that'll get you to me, and I will assign you to the assignment. So basically, what it entails is when the legal services team starts to get the information together about the pay-per-view event. Sorry, I just ran in, so I'm kind of I've had a busy day today. But anyway, so they get all the information gathered for the pay-per-view event, and what happens is they send out emails. They send out all kinds of different notifications, 5 or 6 different types of notifications, whether it's via mail, they call them, they do all these things. And when say, like if it was a BW3 or if it was any type of a bar or restaurant that's doing a pay-per-view event, when they initially sign up for the pay-per-view event, they select they have the option to select either individual or corporate. I'm sorry, I was really busy today, and I was kind of just running in, so I'm having a hard time thinking here. But they have the option to select either individual or commercial. That's what it is, commercial type of event. And if it's a company, then obviously they should be not doing the individual one. If they're doing the individual one, they're doing it illegally. So what the legal services team is tasked to doing, as far as doing, is trying to get them to switch from the individual to the company one. And if they don't do that by the time the event shows up, then obviously they're doing it illegally, and they send one of us out to collect the evidence. So basically, it's very easy. When I've done them, it's taken me 3 minutes to do, literally, and they're $100. So very easy, simple. As a matter of fact, on my last one, I had someone do one, and the company was closed because of weather. They still got paid $100. They took a couple pictures of the outside of the building, and they took a picture of the sign saying they were closed. They still got paid $100. So super easy. You can also what I've seen people do also is bring their spouse and have a date night. So it's kind of a fun event. You go, you get your business done, you have a seat, and then if you want to have a beer or have dinner or something like that, then you can do that. So but they're really kind of fun. So anyway, but does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Laura, I wanted to make sure I understood this. So notaries will go to an event like BW3s, and if they're having a pay-per-view, you're just going in there to see if they're putting it on and taking pictures, and then that's it?
Right, it's super easy. Basically, here's how I do it. I drive up to the venue, and I take 2 pictures of the outside, 2 vantage points of their marquee. Okay, so I take a picture looking this way, and then maybe I take a picture over here. And this is even before I get out of the car. So I take 2 pictures, and then as you're walking in, you engage your camera, you walk in, you pan left, you pan right, to give a good view of the area that you're walking into. And then you walk, you have a seat, and then as you're walking to your seats, kind of look and see what's on the TVs, and you find the event that they're looking for, and then you finish a 30-second video, and that is it. It's super easy, and like I said, they're pretty fun. And the thing is, a lot of people ask me, well, I feel kind of bad because I'm kind of telling on the establishment. It's like, yeah, you are, but the thing is, they were given 6 chances to do the right thing, and they chose to still do the wrong thing. So that's kind of what you have to keep in mind as well. And a lot of times they just get a slap on the wrist and they say, don't do it again. Unless it's like they've done this multiple times, they know that they're not supposed to do it. They've already been talked to about it. They've already had the slap on the wrist. Okay, then maybe they'll get a fine or something. But so you don't really have to feel bad about doing them because they shouldn't be doing it anyway. So, any other questions?
So, yeah, Laura, so this is when you say pay-per-view, so this is like where you go in and you're like maybe watching a football game that is not supposed to be on. Is that what you're talking about? That kind of thing?
Well, it can be on, but the thing is, they've usually signed up for the wrong subscription. So they've, instead of signing up for the commercial subscription, they've signed up for the individual subscription. So the individual subscription would be like you would be showing it to your family at your home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Versus a commercial, which is going to be more expensive. So that's not something that a notary is going to know when you're looking at the screen. And are you taking pictures or are you taking a video?
When you walk in, or actually the way that I do it, whenever I'm driving up, I take 2 photos of the outside. And then as I'm walking in, I engage my camera and I take a 30-second video. So it's 2 pictures and 1 30-second video. And that's it.
And the 30-second video includes the fact that you've got your thing up and you're kind of scanning the area and it shows that something's on the TVs.
So
okay.
This is exactly what I do. So I have my camera. Okay. So I just kind of have my camera like this. I engage it. And then I walk in the door, I pan left like I'm looking for a seat, pan right, and then I have a seat, and then I finish my 30-second video of whatever's playing on the TV. Okay, and I'm looking for the event that they are looking for. So if it's a fight, I'm looking for the names of the 2 fighters. If it's a football game, I'm looking for the names of the 2 teams, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Or it could be soccer, or it could be, it could be anything that's on pay-per-view.
Cool. All
That's
right.
how
Thank
I do
you.
it. It's super easy. And everybody has cameras these days. So it's like nobody even notices what you're doing. So it's not even a big deal. So, yep.
All right. And then I do have one more question for you. Is you had said that we might get these emails. Well, how would people find us if it's not through you? And
I find them.
Okay, so I mean, but you find them, but then you were saying that we would get maybe some emails or something and that we should text you or call you or whatever, but I don't understand. I don't have your text. I don't know if this is a sign up thing, right?
No, well, I'm going to give you my phone number. But yes, are you on SnapDocs? Are you on signing order? So you might get them from there. Okay, so you might get.
And they would just say evidence collection is all it would say on there. It would just say
no,
evidence.
There's going to be a bunch of information on there. But you know, because it's going to talk about evidence collection. Okay, yeah. But my phone number, everybody get your pens and papers out, or just stick me in your phone or whatever. My phone number is 317-294-2037. And if you want to text me ahead of time, let me know. Tell me your name, tell me your email address, tell me the zip code that you are in, tell me the city, okay? And then I'll plug you in my phone. And whenever I get a notification that I need to do your city, then I'll have you in there, and I can get you. I can put you on speed dial.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and the best thing about it is you get paid immediately. So right after you do the service and you turn in all of the documentation, you'll get paid immediately. And actually, he usually gets you paid by Monday. Kind of depends on how many cities we have to do. You know, sometimes it's just like 5 or 6 cities. Sometimes it's like 35 cities. So if it's 35 cities, he's going to have a hard time getting 35 people paid that day. So it might take him until Monday. So yeah, but basically,
So is that the new signing service that you're talking about that you have set up? And do we have to, again, is there like an app that we should have installed for it, or we just doing it on our phone and we're sending it to your phone, or we're uploading it where?
just send it to me. Just send it to me. If you send it to me today or tomorrow or whatever, I'll put you in my phone and I'll have you in my database. But I'm going to be on signing order for all of my stuff.
Okay, so it's actually signing order is the name of it.
Signing order is the platform.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be up. But and that's for the loan signings. Okay. If you get an email, it will probably just come straight to your email.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
That all makes sense?
Yes. Rita, did Laura answer your question?
I'm sorry.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, Rita had a question in chat, and I want to make sure you answered her
Oh,
question.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the same thing for her signing her the evidence.
Okay. So y'all get my phone number? 317.
Yes, I get it.
294-2037.
And I put that in chat also.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I'll immediately get all your information and just make sure I get your city and your zip code. Okay.
Laura, I've got one more question for you. So you don't have to divulge your people that are asking, but who is asking you to basically do this? Is this law firms? Is this in the gambling industry? What is this?
It's a legal services company. They're the largest. Okay. They're the largest company that. They're a company that does the largest amount of business in this area as far as the pay-per-view evidence collecting. So they do the largest number of these yearly. So, but it's a legal services. It's a legal services company, and they offer all kinds of different stuff. Notary work. Sure. They do process serving. They do all kinds of other notary stuff. But this one is my newest one. So hopefully, maybe we'll get into more of their other things that they do since we do such a good job. He told me since I've been involved that he has had the best people, and he's been able to get the highest number of completion. His completion rate has been out the roof. So it's been a really good experience for them. So I want to keep that going. I want to let as many notaries know that this is a true thing, because sometimes people don't answer those emails because they think it's something that's fake. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But I want to let people know that yes, it is real. I'm helping them with this, and we're providing a great service. So it's been a really good thing. And the really neat thing about it is sometimes there are two in the same area at the same time. So if I say you're in Cleveland and there's two in Cleveland, then I would give the same person both of them. So you would get paid $200 right there, and it's super easy. And like I said, if you go out and the place is closed, say they've closed shop or they're closed due to weather, you still get paid. Any other questions? What is your opinion? Anybody have opinions of what I just told you?
I mean, I'm not yet a notary, but I think that's a great option for notaries to have some additional income and to get out of the house and do something.
Exactly. That's the way I feel about it. Plus,
Yep.
it takes me 3 minutes. They tell me, they say it takes 5 to 10 minutes. Well, it only took me 3 minutes. I'm no genius, okay? I'm no genius. So if I can do it, you all can do it. Super easy.
10 minutes for $100. That's great.
Yeah. minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes.
It's another avenue of business that's profitable.
Exactly. Thanks, Chris. I think it's super fun.
I sent you my zip code already.
Awesome. Gotcha.
I sent
Check the text.
Patty Thornberry. Do you know Michael Thornberry?
No, I don't think I do. That
Do you
doesn't
know
make
Diane?
I
How
don't.
about Diane Thornberry?
Who?
Diane Thornberry?
I
Diane?
knew a couple Diane Thornberries. One is deceased, my mother-in-law, and then there was another Diane Thornberry that was in the medical field.
No, she's
So-
a flight attendant.
Okay, yeah, don't know. So, yeah, I'm kind of brainstorming what you were talking about though, because I might have, I'm going to make a phone call and I might have another lead for you for this kind of thing.
Awesome. Yeah. The more people
that's-
know about it, the better.
Well, it's right. No, but I mean, it's right in the same type of industry that you're talking about. And I'm talking actually to a lawyer that
Okay.
deals with that kind of
That'd be
stuff
great.
and say, but do you have a name of your company that's doing it or not?
Just under me, Laura Jones. My business, I haven't announced my business name yet, so I'm keeping that
Okay.
under wraps until I get everything completed.
Okay, because I'm going to have a conversation with him and ask him if this is something that his firm would be interested in because they're in all 52 states. So,
Yeah, awesome.
I know. So anyway, but I'll get back to you. I'll send you a text on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Any other questions, or does anybody have any other comments? I'd love to hear your comments.
Lisa said that she gotten the alert and was skeptical.
Yeah, and that's what I hear a lot. But you don't have to be skeptical. Just call me or just text me. Because great money, easy, and you get paid fast.
That's what I like to hear.
I know, exactly.
PI work.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said it's PI work, private investigator work.
Exactly. And that's what I hear all the time. People say, man, it was so fun. I felt like I was undercover. Yeah. So it is fun.
Have you had anybody say anything to you? It doesn't seem like, because the world is so camera oriented. But if you were seen filming, that not that they would think that that's what you're doing, but they would just say, "Hey, you can't film in here." Have you ever been someplace where they go, "You can't film"?
I had that conversation with them, and I asked them in the very beginning when I first started this. I started about 6 months ago, but they said that they haven't had any kind of a negative confrontation or anything like that in the 6 years they've been doing it. Not one. But they have a script. If somebody comes up and says something to you, they have a script to help you. What do you call that?
Navigate through it.
Yes, and what do they call that? Anyway,
Not,
I'll remember later.
not punch somebody in the face.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. To help you. Oh, I can't think of it. I'm sorry. I was very busy today, and which is absolutely amazing, but I'm very tired,
Is it to
and
help you
so I
de-escalate?
apologize. I'm kind of scatterbrained right now.
Is it to help you de-escalate the situation?
Yes, that's it. De-escalate. That's what I was looking for.
That's it.
Yes, to help you de-escalate the situation if needed. And whenever you sign up, you'll be sent a 1-minute video so that you can see exactly what I was describing. You take your 2 pictures, you walk in with your camera engaged, you go left, you go right, and then you walk in, you have a seat, and then you film the rest of the 30 seconds. So you'll see that, and they have a little script for you in different types of situations if you experience somebody asking you about the if you're filming, and on one of them they say, oh, I was just showing my friend how fun this is, and I'm trying to get her to come out with me, that kind of thing. So and there's several different scenarios they give, so it's good. Super easy. Any other comments, questions? Okay, that's it. That's it. Oh, and also let me know if you're interested in doing the loan closings as well when you send me your text. Because if I have something in your area, then you guys will be preferred.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Laura, for coming and spending your time. I know you're a very busy person. I talked to so many notaries that says, oh man, it's so slow. But it depends on your business. It depends on how you operate as a business and coming to these type of events. Is there any questions about anything we covered tonight? No, I'm glad we covered everything. We got experts here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end this with our next notary meetup, Laura. I told them our next notary meetup will be in Northwest Indiana, Saturday, March the 16th. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions for me, if you think of a question later on, or think of a question for Laura, I can get that question to Laura and she can contact you directly. Just feel free to send me an email, give me a call, send me a text if you have questions later on. I'm doing another free Zoom event on Thursday, February 29th. What phone apps do you need to be a successful notary? You'll be surprised at some of the answers, some of the apps that I would recommend, but hopefully I'll see you on that. If there's no other questions, I'm gonna give you back your night. Thanks
I do have
again.
a question.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Lauren.
Do we have multiple states represented here?
Yeah, we have Chris from South Carolina. I don't know if we have, I think we had somebody from Philly in
So,
here.
Chris, what area are you in?
I'm in Myrtle Beach.
Okay, I've had these in Myrtle Beach before, so yeah, so you're definitely a popular area.
Laura, I have
It
a
is.
question for you. So since this is not like where you have to use your notary stamp and whatever,
Do it in any state.
so because I go a lot to Florida and I go a lot to Fort Lauderdale, which is very hot, Miami, whatever. And I'm thinking when you're talking about bars and stuff like that, right? That could be a big hot area. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's I just wanted to see if you were limited to the state you were in, or if you're traveling and you put it out there that says, "Hey, I've got this." So
You got it.
okay.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to tell you. Let's see here. I'm going to tell you the next dates to watch out for. Okay. Now it doesn't mean it's going to be in your area. It just means these are the next dates, and we will only know. It's a last minute type thing because we won't know until 12 to 24 hours prior to the event. So it's always a jump and give me 20, but it's jump and give me 20 and I give you 100. Okay. So hang on a second. I'm going to tell you the next dates that to be on the lookout for an email or a communication directly from me. I forgot about that. Okay. Okay, the next ones are Saturday, February 17th. This one's going to be the Volkanovski versus Topuria. I don't know if I'm saying those right. Those are those are fights. Looks like most of these are fights. Yep. Saturday, February 24th, PFL, whoever that is, versus Bellator. I don't know who these people are, or if they're teams, either teams. I don't know. And then Saturday, March 2nd, Serrano versus Meineke. Friday, March 8th, Joshua versus Nagby else. And then Saturday, March 9th, UFC 299, O'Malley versus Vera 2. So those are going to be my next couple of months of dates.
So when you send those, are you saying that you send a text to a group, say, or whatever, and then a response back that says I can do it, or you're saying to expect it?
You'll get, some people get an email, and
from what's the email address? What would be the email address, Laura, that we would get something from?
I don't know what the email address is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But when as soon as I get the cities, I start looking for people to do it. So most of the time my communications go out earlier than the email does anyway. So just get on my list, and then you'll be notified first.
You got anything else, Laura, you want to share?
That's it. Everybody got dates?
I got the dates, and they got your email.
Yes.
I mean, your phone number.
Yep.
Somebody had a question?
317-294-2037.
All right. Did anybody else have a question?
I think we're good.
All right. Excellent. Thanks again for coming tonight. Hopefully see you on everybody on another call soon. I'm going to stop recording.